Hey again, guys. Do you know what I like to do when I get done emailing with Sports Card Dad? I like to look at some baseball cards. Hey guys, it's white glove time. I got a special card I've been looking for a long time. It was one of the cards I was seeking out at the National. I only saw one there, and the guy wanted an awful lot of money for it, and he wouldn't come down. So I had to walk away without one. This is an 1887 old Judge card. There are two poses that I'm aware of by this player. One is playing first base, which was his position, and one was batting. And I got the fielding version. And this is of Big Dave Orr. I add the big. Because despite being 250 pounds, he was one of the best defensive first basemen of his era. Led in range factor 2 years, led in putouts 1 year, led, I think, in assists, but a good moving large guy. He had a high fielding percentage. And he was one of the hardest hitters of his day. He was a big slugger. He had a lifetime batting average of .352. 1 year, he batted .371. And in an exhibition game at the end of that season in 1890, suffered a stroke and died. And it ended his baseball career, obviously. He has the 11th highest batting average in baseball history, the 3rd highest batting average by a right-handed batter. And he had set a triples record that stood for 25 years until it was broken, and only one player surpassed it. So that's Big Dave Orr. And if you're familiar with these cards, they fade really badly. And you can read everything on here. So glad to add that. And then I got this Joe DiMaggio pin. And you don't see this pin often. Most of the ones you see are his smiling face, that famous shot you're probably all familiar with. But this is a young, intense-looking Joe DiMaggio. Now, these pins were routinely sold at the stadium. They usually had little kind of, banners at the bottom. And I guess spectators would wear these to support their favorite players. But this is a great Joe DiMaggio. And you know, guys, if you want to venture out of cards a little bit, you can get these old vintage pins for far less than the cards. You know, you have the sweet Capital pins, were essentially the pin version of T206s and T205s. You have the Tattoo Orbit that were given away in gum, like the Tattoo Orbit baseball cards. You have the 1924 Miss Sherlock pins. And they have some fantastic players in that set. So pins are a less affordable way to go if you want to own some of baseball's greats and can't afford their cards. Oh, I can't forget the Cracker Jack pins too. Those are great. There's a great Dizzy Dean and a great Lou Gehrig in there. I got a 1963 Brooks Robinson. I didn't realize I needed this for my set, so I picked up a nice looking example. And you know, if it's not Mickey Mantle or somebody, you can get these 52 tops for like $11. So I picked up a Wally Westlake. Did not have that one for my set. And I have to thank TJ Mack. He turned me on to this guy. And man, TJ Mack is teaching me all kind of things about some football players from the 60s that I wasn't familiar with. And hey, that's what it's all about, man. And he turned me on to this Art Powell. Art Powell, a good receiver. And man, this card is fantastic. Look at that. I only have a few cards from this set, so really excited to add another one. I had to get another 1976 Lynn Swan. This one's just so perfectly centered, I couldn't pass it up. And as I always say, he's underappreciated, undervalued, in my opinion. Got this great 74 art shell. He looks so young there. It really struck me. Kind of a baby face. And I got some 67 tops football too. I got Matt Snell. His grandson Benny's playing on my Steelers. And Otis Taylor. He doesn't get enough appreciation either. Great player. And another art pal. And I picked up some Ed Podolak cards. Well, I showed you my 78 the other day. I actually have a few more coming because I'm working on all these sets, and he was off my radar, and so I'm adding his cards for the sets. So I have the 74 there. And I picked this up just for the history of it, and I did a short on this. This is a card that Upper Deck did to commemorate his game in 1971 on Christmas Day, where he had 350 yards. He had 155 return yards, something like, what do you have, 85 rushing yards and 110 passing yards. Now, the reason that I started buying his cards in the first place is I watched an old Monday Night Football game with him, and he was just a phenomenal return man in that game that I watched. And then I learned about this. Anybody that returns for 155 yards, that's insane. And then I picked this up, and I'm going to do a separate video where I go through it and show the whole thing. But I got this, it's the 1964 Wheaties stamps. Now, I had either the whole set or near set for baseball, but I didn't have, I think I have just one. I think I have just the Mike Ditka for football. But I came across this great old album in great condition. And this is what the stamps, this is what they went in. And man, there's Raymond Berry. That's what they look like on the inside. You got Jim Brown, Johnny Unitas. I don't want to go through here too much. I'm going to do a separate video, and I'm just going to go through and show you guys this book. Kind of excited to get that. And so, hey, anything else? That's what I have for you. Thanks for watching.